A very good day to you. I'd like to welcome you to this Diamond Rush training here we have on a Saturday. My name is Steve Mitchell. I'm a Diamond Elite Associate with Torque Fusion. I've been with the business now for literally just a year, 12 months. The most amazing 12 months of my life in career as far as this business is concerned, and we have absolutely found our home. This is exactly where I always wanted to have my career end up, is working with a company like Torque Fusion. So exciting. I'd like to welcome all of you for joining us here on this Saturday. It's 12 o'clock noon Eastern USA, 5 o'clock in the UK, 6 o'clock Central Europe, and whatever time of day it is with you, we'd like to welcome you. I'd like to say a big thank you to all of you giving up some time to be with us now. It's an amazing time in our business, so many exciting things going on. And really today is about sharing with you the actual footprint, the bedrock of our business, what we refer to as the Diamond Rush training. Now, if you're an existing associate, been in the business a little while, hey, that's great. We'd certainly want to welcome you here today and thank you for joining us. If you're a brand new associate, and this is your first experience as far as this industry, what we're going to share with you now over the next 35-40 minutes or so in actually showing you and talking you through really how you start your business off and get it going. So it's a very exciting time indeed. I can see we've got so many people joining us from literally all over the world. Literally thousands upon thousands of people joining us now. So thank you so much to you. What I'm going to do, so it's not a distraction, I'm just going to flick off the chat for the moment. We will bring the chat back up a little bit later, and you can all say your hellos and various things and goodbyes when we come back a bit later. So again, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Steve Mitchell. I'd like to welcome you to this Diamond Rush training. We've got a lot to cover in the next 30-35 minutes or so. Some really very exciting stuff as far as really how you build your business from here on in. For today, I want you to imagine you're a brand new associate, whether you've been in the business a little while or not. You're a brand new associate just getting going in the business. And really what I want to share with you really is where you take your business now, starting from now. Now, I'm hoping all of you have printed off and read by now your Diamond Rush training, okay? We would suggest you read it twice. You might say, well, okay, I read it once. What's the purpose of reading it twice? The reason you read it twice is first time round, you take it on board. It's a first absorption of what you've heard. The second time is effectively where it sits in and starts to make some sense. Okay, obviously the next thing you do is once you've read it twice is we're going to start to act on it. We're going to talk much more about that. So you should print off your Diamond Rush training. You would have got that from your back office link. You log into the back office, literally a big button right at the front there says Diamond Rush training getting started. If you're a new associate, you press on that and print that off. Now, I'm going to assume you've all done that. I'm going to assume that you've all got a pen in your hands, you've got paper in your hands. Because this isn't just a training where I do all the work. This is a training about us working together to help you get your business springing off in a literally fast state straight away to get you results. So let's get underway and let's start sharing with you the Diamond Rush training. Okay, the first thing from a point of view is you've got to recognize, is really the whole objective of the Diamond Rush training is to take you from a zero position with little or no experience of this industry, from a zero position to the position of diamond. And diamond in our business is a rank that we have. We have basically bronze, silver, gold, have various star levels, and then we have diamond, okay? That is what this training is designed to do. Somebody with little or no experience from literally zero to diamond to achieve that in 200 days. Now, why would you want to do that? What's the purpose of that? Well, let's give you some indication of really what you can actually be expecting as a diamond. And this is just to give you a ballpark figure. It's very important that to express to you now, your income will be totally dependent on your own efforts. But many people say, well, if I get to diamond and I'm achieving what's required to be a diamond, what's it worth to me? It's worth to you about $10,000 a month. That's $2,500 a week. Now, imagine that right now, 100,000 extra dollars a year. Imagine opening your purse or wallet now. Imagine now, and this week I put, I don't know what notes would be the best to put in there, but let's just say $2,500 goes into your purse or wallet right now. Okay, and on this Saturday, and I say come back next Saturday, and I'm going to put that $2,500 back in your purse or your wallet all over again. How would your life be different? Have some fun. How would your life be different right now? What house would you be living in? What car would you be driving? Where would you be taking your children on holidays and the family on holidays? What would you be doing maybe for good causes, maybe a charity or for a church or something like that? Think about what you would be doing and think about that as a lifestyle changer, and knowing not just this Saturday did 2,500 go in there, but next Saturday it happens all over again every single week. Well, that's what Talk Fusion can do, and that's what can happen for you if you follow this Diamond Rush training as we're going to lay out for you now. So with that in mind, let's just basically explain into a little bit detail now really one things of the universal principle, okay, that we stand by as far as really what you've got to remember is that it isn't about what you are capable of doing. It's what you can do that can duplicate. In other words, what can other people copy? If you try and do something, even if you got some success with it, if others cannot do it, that's linear. That's not leveraging yourself. So there is one underlying principle that we all follow is quite simply, if it cannot be duplicated by everyone, all right, duplicated by people and copied by other people, then don't bother. Just literally, whether it works for you or not, drop it. And that is really what we have down in the Diamond Rush training. It is what can be duplicated by you, your team, and the people in your team who they introduce. Now, how do we mean by that? Well, the way we do it to make it a duplicatable system is we build the Diamond Rush around four very simple steps. Four very simple steps. The first thing you do is you invite people to take a look. Those people, we call them prospects because they're just possibles as far as maybe a customer or an associate for Talk Fusion. So we call them prospects. Once you invite people to take a look, then you've got to show it to them. And we do that by way of a business presentation, a 30-minute business presentation in various formats. We'll chat about that in a moment. Then you've got to ask those people, what do they think? We call it a follow-up call, okay? And we do the follow-up call on a three-way call. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. Finally, at the end of that, after you've invited a few people to take a look, you've showed it to them, and you've followed up what they think, they're going to tell you, yeah, I like it, or it's for me, or no thanks, it's not for me. Well, those that say yes, fourth step, you plug them into the system. Going to talk much more about that. So just get it clear very simply right up front. We have four simple steps we use to build the business. We invite, we show, we follow up, and we plug people in that say yes. We invite, we show, we follow up, and we plug people in that say yes. It's as simple as that. Now, we, over this half an hour or so, are going to expand that a little bit further. Let's initially go straight to the invitation, okay? Step one, the invite, all right? That's where it all starts. That's where it is. And I would suggest to you now, the one area where you're going to have to learn some skills, and hey, it's a new business, but the one area, and frankly, it's probably the key area that you will learn skills, is in the skills of inviting people to take a look. And let's just chat a little bit about that. But before we even get into inviting people, it's important to understand, imagine you're going into the kitchen and you were going to cook something. And you say, right, I'm going to literally start something out. Before you can even start doing the work, taking the action, ultimately you've got to have some ingredients. Because going into the kitchen with all the enthusiasm, if you don't have any ingredients, frankly, nothing's going to happen. Exactly the same. Our four-step system requires ingredients. Our ingredients are people. And what it does, what we suggest you do, before we get into discussing more specifically about the invitation, how do you invite people to take a look? Step one, let's just discuss for a moment where you're going to find people. Who are the people you're going to be talking to? Right, how many people do you know right now would like to get some change in their life? How many people do you know right now who would like to help others and perhaps haven't? How many people do you know right now who have some dreams and are willing to do something to achieve those dreams, to get those dreams? How many people do you know right now who would love the opportunity of being their own boss, working from home, starting their own business and increasing their income? Those are the people we are going to be focusing on right now. And those are the people, they're your ingredients. Now, what we do initially is suggest to yourself, think of 20 people. Think of 20 people right now that you would be interested in going into business with. All right, these are your closest friends. These are the people you care about. And if you are even suggesting for a second, well, I don't want to mention it to my friends, then you need to find out much, much more about this company, this business, and this industry. Because when you know what I know, and many, many other leaders in this business know, you will want to tell everybody, including, and probably first, the people you'd want to speak to are your closest friends. So what you need to start thinking to yourself is, who are my top 20 prospects? And please, please, do not prejudge anyone. I'll share something with you. You don't have the right to make decisions for other people. We have to have one very key attribute that we uphold at all times, is having respect. Let other people make their own mind up. Let other people make their own decision. Our job is not to decide for other people. It's not to prejudge. Will they want to look at Talk Fusion? Will they not? You would be frustrated if somebody made that decision for you. If I suddenly said, hey, listen, no, I didn't show you this business because I made a decision it wasn't for you. After you've just banged me on the nose, if I say, Steve, with respect, hang on, I'd like to make my own decisions. I'd like to have been told about it and then have the respect that you let me know. Well, you have to extend that respect to other people. You don't prejudge anyone, all right? That's so important. And really, it's remember in this business, it's not about what people know. It's really who and what they know. It's how many people do they know? That's so important. When you're thinking of your top 20, remember this. You are going to be building two teams. One team on the left and one team on the right. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. First, initially, our goal is to introduce you and help you to actually find your first two people. Then we build number 3 and number 4 under those first two. Now, understand this. And remember this now if you're a new associate. The very first two people you introduce, everything else you do over the next weeks, months and years are going to fall underneath the very first two people. Now you might be starting to think about those two people in a slightly different light. Who are the most deserving two people you know? Who are the hardest working? Who are the ones that really, really, really want to change their lives? They are the two people that you would want to first introduce, because everything you do after that will go underneath them. They're the ones that you would really want to put your arms around and go to work with. They are the ones you are going to want to talk to today, literally in your brand new first 24 hours in the business. That is how you should be thinking. And extend that concept from your first two, take it up to your top 20. Think about who are the 20 people you would be most interested in wanting to work with. The go-getters, the people that really, really are determined to get some changes in their life. So, so important. Now, you don't stop with 20, all right? That's not where that's just the starting point. What you do then is extend that 20 up to literally, and we say 200 people minimum. Now, the company provide us with some amazing tools within the Diamond Rush training. They provide us with a memory jogger. This allows us, and so many people see this and they kind of go, oh yeah, got that. Yeah, I'll just jot them down or whatever. No, you need to spend some quiet time. Put everything aside. Get together with your partner because it's a great fun exercise. Get yourself a beverage you like. Sit down and start mapping out your warm market. Writing them down using the memory jogger that's inside this Diamond Rush training, okay? It's there for a reason, okay? Now, some people say, Steve, I don't need to pop them down. I know other people. They're in my head. I know who I'm going to talk to. Wrong. Firstly, remember our system. Remember what we are doing. We are doing things that other people can duplicate. Keeping stuff in your head is not something somebody else can duplicate. Writing your names and phone numbers and emails down, somebody else can do the same thing with their people. But I'm going to share 21 years of building networks with you right now. I have never, in my experience, met anyone who has made significant income in this industry that did not have the ability to commit names to paper. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you, excuse me for a minute, preparation, shows it's spontaneous. Here you go, because I never share anything with you unless I'm doing it myself. And all the leaders in this business will not ask you to do anything they will not be doing themselves. This is, you can see the state of it. This was my original warm market list. I was told to do this, and I could see from successful people that was the way to go. I wrote, this is mine. I appreciate you can't see it on camera. Stop trying to take down the phone numbers and the emails. I'm watching you. But basically, you can see the state of it. Like, it even comes with nice coffee stains and whatever. This list is 20 odd years old. But the list is started at 21 years ago. You will see it changes with different things. Why? Because my list is constantly growing. And as we say on the slide here, when people say, I finished my list, you've never finished your list. You are building relationships, you are making contacts, you are extending your warm market list all the time, okay? So that's so important. Make sure, and in the actual Diamond Rush, not only is there the memory jogger, but there is also a prospect contact tracking. Now, the very first thing you should do, take your top 20 names, transfer the number. So if it's number 1 or number 6 or write the number off your 200 list. Write the name and the date here. This is what we're going to be tracking. You and I'm your sponsor for the sake of this training now, and I'm going to go to work with you. So what I'm going to do is I need to know this. Now, what I actually do is I say, listen, if you're my brand new associate, I say, listen, can you just wing me over your top 20? Because we're going to go to work now, and I'd like to know who we're going to work with. So if you could just email me over just your top 20, you will have them all written down, and we're going to open up prospect tracking sheets for those top 20. And that's really what we're going to be starting to do, right? That's really our ingredients, okay? We're now ready to go to work. We've got a list of 200, maybe many more, okay? With that in mind, also, you've got your top 20, and your sponsor is going to go to work with you right now. Now, what do we do with that in mind? Right, what we do is we go back to this is working on the invitation, as we suggested earlier on. And what we just remember a couple of things about the invitation. Excuse me. It is 90% excitement. As they say, it's the sizzle, not the steak, okay? It's the feeling of what somebody feels about it, rather than the actual content of what they're saying. If I raise my voice and something, and speak a little bit quicker and get enthusiastic, it naturally, emotion creates motion in you. You feel something by what I'm sharing with you. So get excited. One thing I was taught many years ago, stand up when you're making your phone calls. When you get your phone and you're literally making your phone calls, your invitation calls, stand up. Get your posture up, because your body language will change when you're moving around. Very, very important indeed. Remember what we're going to be doing with that top 20 list, you and I, me as your sponsor, you as the brand new associate, we're going to go to work with that, okay? Now, inside the Diamond Rush, and we haven't got time to go into it now, there's some great little invitation questions, invitation scripts you can use. Obviously, tune it to your own words. We're all slightly, our personalities are different, so we use slightly different words, but there's some great little one-liners in there, great little messages, little scripts that you can use until you feel confident. Now, I'm going to share also with you the invitation. Don't expect it when you start out to be perfect. That's not the point, okay? When I made my first invitation calls, they were dreadful. They were absolute. But you know what? I made a couple more and they got a bit better. And I made a couple more and they got a bit better. And just by practicing, I found the right words and whatever. It doesn't matter. You've got 200 people here. So you've got lots and lots on your list. 200 people we're going to be practicing invitations with. And as I'm going to share with you in a second, you're not doing it alone. You're doing it with either your sponsor or your upline partner, your business partner who's got experience. So just go and use those scripts. They're always very good in that respect, as far as helping you to find the right words in the beginning. And it's really important in the invitation to emphasize the importance of timing. Everybody wants to be in the right place at the right time. I always just jokingly say when I make an invitation call, hey, Dave, in life is all about being in the right place at the right time. Would you agree? And they go, oh, yeah, Steve, yeah, you're right. And I said, Dave, sometimes you just get lucky. Today, you and I got lucky. We're just in the right place at the right time. Well, what, Steve? With what? What do you mean? And then you would do your invitation. But what I'm saying is you've got to make them feel as though the timing, because it is absolutely the right timing right now, okay? And that's so important to get across, because everybody wants to be in the right place at the right time. Another little tip regarding invitations. Posture. So important. you know, you have a gift here. Be clear on this. And if you're a new associate and your belief systems are just getting reinforced by the more you're learning, the more you're understanding, we understand that. But please understand you have a gift in Talk Fusion, and it is a solution for literally anyone to get changes in their life. Whether it's a small change just to pay off some credit cards and pay their rent, rather than it's a big change and it's a huge career life change they want. The point is we have a solution. Have that posture. Do not sound with your tonality and the way you speak. Don't sound like you're needy. Don't sound like really, you know, you've got to have a look. I really want that. That is not what it's about, okay? Remember, people ultimately, they want to feel as though you've got something that they want. And the way you do that is your posture, okay? Hey, listen, I don't know if it's for you or not, but I'm chatting to a few people about this. Listen, I'd love to share it with you, but if you don't have the time, I understand that. That's fine. I just want to quickly identify a couple of key people I want to share something with. It's that sort of posture, and it's an SW concept you've got to adopt. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. You see, our job is very simple. We invite, we show, we follow up, and we plug the people in that say yes. Their job, the prospects, is to say yes or no. That's it. So don't try and do their job. Let them do that. Don't worry about their job. They will choose yes or no. You do your job. Invite, show, follow up, and then basically plug them into the system. And then do some will, some won't. So what? Next. And just hold that posture. Look to attract people to you, because you've got something in your hand, and say, no, you make them want to feel. And if they don't want to look, move on, find somebody that does, for goodness sake. So do remember that. That's quite important. A couple of important things that we want to share with you on that basis as well is that, sorry, my slide just took a bit longer. I said right in the beginning that there's very few skills you're going to initially need, but one of them is about inviting. There's an old saying that many of the leaders, you know, are aware of, is that learn to invite and you will get rich. Invitation, the power of the invitation is really where your business success will start. Now, don't expect that to be brilliant to start with. As I said, expect it to be pretty lousy. You know, mine was, and I've never met a leader that wasn't the case, but they got better and they practiced. So as we've said, the more you practice, the better you get. It's that simple, all right? Please don't try and explain the entire opportunity. That's not your job. The job of explaining the business, the products, the opportunity is the job of the presentation and your upline partner when you do follow-up with a three-way call. We're going to discuss that in a moment. Keep it simple. Do things that ultimately your team can copy. Remember what we said about the underlying principle. That's so important. The underlying principle is, can it duplicate? Well, the simpler it is, will allow it to duplicate. And remember, what we're looking to do is to get together with you. If you're my new associate and I'm your sponsor, we're going to get together and we're going to go to work on your top 20 together. I'm not going to tell you to go and do it, and then you go and do it, you know, and I get so cross when I hear somebody say, hey, listen, it's great to have you on board. I'm here if you need me. No. That is not what the Diamond Rush coach is on. That's not what any of us teach, okay? We work together. So the sponsor, if they've got experience, and if the sponsor is brand new, and they don't have the experience, you find an upline partner with experience, and they will go to work with you with the top 20, doing it together. So that's a couple of tips about the invitation and helping you with regard to that. Let's move it on. Let's say now you follow the scripts that are all basically in that Diamond Rush. You've been using the Diamond Rush, the training itself. You've invited a few people with the help, all right, being coached and doing it with your upline partner. And a few people have said, actually, yeah, I like the idea that I've got 30 minutes to look at a website. And that's what I do. I just say to people, listen, have you got 30 minutes to check out a website? Because obviously the live presentations are still a website. And people are looking at, they like that phraseology, because most people are looking at websites all day long. Have you got 30 minutes to look at a website? Yeah, great. And now this is a little tip I will give you, is that a lot of people say, I never know when they're watching the presentation. I don't know if they're on the webinar, Steve. I send them to an on-demand site. I don't know if they've actually seen the presentation or whatever. That will be down to your invitation again. And that will be down to you getting back with your upline leader and letting them help you with this. And what I'm suggesting is I only ever go onto a live webinar. In other words, I say, let's get you on and looking at a website, but I only do it when I know they have 30 minutes. I don't give them the link until that time. And I know some people in the business, have been in the business a little while, are giving out the links. Then they get frustrated with themselves because they don't know when their guest, their prospect, is watched the presentation. How about rethinking that? How about only giving the link out and walking people onto, which is, by the way, what I do, and pretty well all the leaders I know do this now, is that when they say, oh, literally, I've got a live webinar. For example, we've got a live webinar coming up, little over 35 minutes from now. Amazing presenter, Diamond Thomas Carter, is going to be doing that. And let's say now, and I speak to my prospect, and he says, yeah, actually, Steve, I've got half an hour now. I'd say, great. Listen, in 30 minutes from now, the presentation is going to be on. I'm on it. You're going to love it, okay? What I want to do, I want you to be on your phone. I'm going to phone you up, and I'm going to literally show you how to get onto the presentation. Now, I do that. I go on with them, okay? They don't know that once they're on the presentation, you may have gone off to make as Min says, a sandwich and a cup of coffee or whatever. You have walked them through it. You've taken them into the invitation, into the presentation itself. That way you've got control. And that way, that covers another very important point we're going to cover at the moment. You know when to follow up, because you know what presentation they're watching. Now, that works exactly the same if you use on-demand presentations. Say let's say there wasn't a live one right now. Ultimately, you want to walk them onto an on-demand. You can do the same. Listen, when can you give me half an hour? And ask them. And they say, oh, I'm a bit busy right now, but I tell you what, the kids are going to be in bed by 9 o'clock this evening. I'll be free. Great. I'm going to phone you at 5 to 9 when you're sat in front of your computer. I want you to have a pen and paper handy. I'm going to show you and get you on and actually get you to the website that I was referring to. Can you pop that in your diary? Listen, and I'll talk to you at 5 to 9. I really look forward to it. So I'm controlling when somebody watches the presentation. They're not controlling you. So important, okay? So let's just go on a little bit further, and with that in mind, about getting as far as momentum is concerned. What I tend to do really is, just press that up there now. People always say, what presentations should you use, Steve? There's live ones, there's on demand, there's group ones going on. There could be a local group one going to you. Which one is it? Quite simple. As the Diamond Rush states, it's the next one available. It's as simple as that. If there isn't a live one, I love live ones, but I also use on demand. I also use group ones. So I use them whatever's the easiest one, whatever's the one coming up next. Because I don't want anybody waiting. I just say, listen, have you got some time now? Actually, I have. Well, I don't want them waiting perhaps an hour or two, maybe 3 hours for a live one. I say, great, listen, when you're sat in front of your computer, I want to show you a website. If you've got a quiet 30 minutes now, I want to show you something really exciting. I want you to sit back, and then I'm going to ask you what you think. You're ready to go? Yeah, I am. Great. Get them on a presentation. Simple as that. And remind them you're actually showing it to a few people. And the way the business works, very fairly, it works on a first come, first served. So what we do is we're building a structure. Those that say yes basically get positioned at the highest point. Those that say, from a point of view, yes later, they get positioned on the next point. So I just want to be honest with you, Dave. I just want to say I've got a few people looking. Hey, whoever looks first gets positioned at the highest point. Well, what's it all about? That's why I want to show you this presentation. I think you're going to love it. It's that kind of posture, but it will create momentum for you if you move with momentum. It's that very, very simple. Now, with that in mind, from a point of view, I pressed the wrong slide, so let me just correct that. There you go. Why? Why do we use presentations? Because it's the system that doesn't require you. The people that are doing the presentations are experienced, proven leaders. They've built organizations with Talk Fusion. So they are running them. In fact, I always say to people, you don't run your own presentation until you are at least a gold, okay? And the reason is you don't need to. There are experienced leaders within Talk Fusion doing first-class presentations on your behalf. use them, all right? It's simple as that. All you have to do, learn the skills to basically invite people straight to look at the presentation. And that's what you should be looking at. And that, obviously, what that allows you to do is if you were doing the presentation, hey, you're tied there. Whereas if you are just inviting to what is already in place, these presentations, they're already in place. Ultimately, you could be inviting 10, 15, 20 people all at different times to be watching the presentations, okay? And that can duplicate. Remember the underlying principle. We do things that can duplicate. You might be really good at a presentation, but then you introduce your team. They think, have I got to do presentations? I can't do them. No, no, no. They need to think, do you know what I do? Pick up the phone, I invite somebody to watch a presentation, and what I have is I have Rob Roder doing the presentation for me, or I've got Nancy Burling doing the presentation for me. That is, they can see themselves doing that. That's so, so important indeed, okay? So very important from a point of view, that's what the presentations are there for. Let's move it on now. You've invited somebody, they've watched the presentation. Okay, now quite simply we get now to what we call the follow-up, and it's follow-up very importantly with a three-way call. Now if you're a brand new associate joining the business going, what on earth is a three-way call? Then chances are somebody should have done something with you. You would have known what a three-way call is because your actual upline, the person that introduced you, should have done that with you. They should have edified and brought in their upline. So you should be clear as a new associate what a three-way call is because it was done to you, okay? Hence the duplication process. Now, let's just discuss that a little bit further because the three-way call plays such an important role. And it's something that happens immediately. Here's the real perfect scenario. The best scenario, quite honestly, is to have your upline partner waiting so that when somebody you know, remember, you're going to know now because you've got a commitment from them, you're going to know when they're watching a business presentation. So you know exactly when to call them up and go, hey, what do you think? Now, if your upline partner is available, hey, best thing you can do is have them on the line there and then with them. What do you think? Listen, can I just introduce you to my business partner? By the way, don't call them an upline partner. A prospect doesn't know what upline means. We all refer to each other as business partners because that's exactly what we are, okay? So if you can get your upline partner right on straight away and make the call, the follow-up call with them on the line, fantastic, okay? But if they happen to be when the presentation ends and your upline partner, your business partner isn't available, maybe they're already doing a three-way call, then you get on and you've just got to remember two things to do. Ask two simple follow-up questions. Hey, what did you like in the presentation? And the second question is, have you got any questions? Now, the only things you've got to ask, and the reason you do that, you want to get some feedback about what they thought of the presentation. If they go, no, I haven't got any presentation, I didn't really like it, and I've got no questions, that's fine. They've given you feedback. But if they say, yeah, actually, it's interesting. It is interesting, and I have got some questions. That is music to your ears. A, because that's what you want them to have is questions, because that shows interest. And that leads to the three-way call. So hopefully your upline partner is ready there and then to be on the line. But if they're not, what you do after you've asked, what did you like in the presentation? And do you have any questions? And then they say, yeah, actually, they might say a whole bunch of stuff, but you're not interested in that. Why? Because you are now going to introduce and edify your upline leader. They take over now. That is so important. They answer the questions. They deal with basically all the things that you should be dealing with but can't as a new associate because they've got the experience. So what you do is, hey, whatever they say, great questions. What I would love to do now is introduce you to my business partner. They've been doing this a little bit longer. They've been getting some great results, great success. Hey, listen, I'd love you to say hello to them. And I feel they can answer all your questions better than I. Please, look, can you tell me, they're not available right now, but can you tell me, give me a couple of times when you're available, because I'd like to connect you on a call with my business partner. And just get some times off them. But that's as far as your follow-up goes. The follow-up and three-way are together, all right? That's so important. Then when you get your upline partner on, hopefully they're on right at the beginning. But if they can't be, when you have scheduled them to get on, that's when you hand over to your partner. One quick tip there. Please edify and introduce properly and professionally your business partner. The reason is, Your prospect must feel the person they're talking to has experience, has success. And so that's the person. This is like the expert in the room. All right. So it's up to you when you actually set up the three-way call, and your upline partner will coach you on how they want to be introduced. If you say, well, I don't know how to introduce them, just ask them, how would you like me to introduce you? Oh, well, you know, and they will give you some guidance on just a quick 15-second, 30-second intro that will edify them and posture the actual upline very, very well to the prospect. That is so important. Then you let your upline leader, basically the upline partner, take over the call. And you should have your pen and paper in hand and you're taking notes. And the reason is you will be doing three-way calls as you gain with experience with those in your team. That's the duplication process. Very, very important indeed, okay? Now, what is the upline partner looking to do? They're looking to build rapport. They're looking to ask a couple of key questions. And what they're looking for is what we refer to as hot buttons. They're the reasons why somebody would perhaps want to get some solutions in their life. And they're going to talk about family, occupation, recreation, money. We call it FORM, okay? F-O-R-M. And what the upline partner is looking for is, hey, wouldn't you like to spend a bit more time with your family? What about your job? Hey, how's that going, that commuting from work at an hour a day stuck in traffic? How's that working out? You know, wouldn't you like more free time to really do the things you would love to do? You know, that is what the upline partner is going to be doing on the three-way call. Listen to it, all right? And you should be making notes. Where you should be making notes, all right? Because remember, you're working with your upline leader now on your top 20. You should be jotting everything down here. These are what you're listening for, are hot buttons, okay? And that's what we're looking to, because we're looking for problems, things that people want fixing. And then that way we can show them how Talk Fusion can help them fix those problems. All right. So that's very important indeed. And again, from a point of view is that we remind them that timing is important. We've already covered this a little bit on, but it is important to make sure that that the timing of the opportunity, hey, they can take their time, but you know, and this is what your upline partner will be doing. They will be saying, listen, you know, myself and Dave, we're talking to a few people today. We're really excited to talk to you. What we're doing is extending respect to everybody to make their own mind up. But whoever makes their own mind up first, whoever says yes, well, we're going to put them in the best spot. And those that say yes second, we're going to put them in the next spot. Now, you decide, would you like the best spot or the next best spot? I just want to let you know it is a timing thing. And also remember, your upline partner is going to be dealing with all of the questions, all right? That's so important. So that is why it's not going to be down to you. Now, with that in mind, from a point of view of actually you should be taking notes, as I said, and dealing with it. Now, what's the outcomes? The outcomes are real simple. It's yes, I'm ready to get going. I'm excited. I love what I see. What's happened? You've invited them. They've watched a 30-minute presentation. They've had all their questions answered. And there is a third follow-up question that your upline partner will ask. Is there anything right now stopping you from getting going? That's what your upline partner will ask. That's like the end of the conversation. And if they go, no, actually, no, thank you, you've answered all my questions, I'm pretty excited by all of this. Great, let's get you going. And that will basically is how the outcome will come. You might get an outcome that is, yeah, actually, I like it. I still got a few questions. Still need a bit more information. Your upline leader, partner will say, okay, what can I do? What information do you need? What questions do you have that I can answer? Again, you're learning all the way. Somebody might say, hey, do you know what? I'm right up to here. I've got some personal challenges. I've got this going on with my business, whatever. But I love those products and I could really use them for my business. I'm not interested right now in starting a business with Talk Fusion, but I'd love to use the products. Great. They want to be a customer. Hey, that's okay. It might be, no, it's not for me. Now, but it's it isn't no, never. They might even say not never, but it isn't actually. What it is no, not now. And here's why. It's all about timing. Timing in your life, timing when it will actually, as far as, you know, when things are good for you, when it's going to be best. And timing changes all the time. And basically, I will share a very, very quick story with you. A company I was working with many years ago. My very good friend, is still a very close friend now, was actually my sponsor. But this is before we were a sponsor. He showed me a business, or tried to show me a business, and I said no. In fact, I said no, probably quite rudely no. It will never work and that's horrible products and all that stuff. But my friend was very professional and he didn't hear no, not now. Not never. He heard no, not now. So he professionally stayed in touch. For 7 months, he stayed in touch with me. Eventually, the timing in my life changed. And I then looked at the business, took a look at it, liked what I saw, got my questions answered, and joined the business. I ended up building a team, an organization that was 70% of that individual's business. 70% of his income came from what I built. How many times would you have asked me over 7 months? Or would you have heard no once, no twice, 3 strikes? Now, I'll give up on Steve. Not bothering with that one. Well, that's why it's so important to recognize it's about timing. And all we do is pop them into what I call my stay in touch box. I just keep them in touch, let them know. So it's so important. Now, they're the common responses, all right? Now, with that in mind, obviously from a point of view of making sure you get duplication, that's so key. With that in mind, what we're trying to do is make sure we're doing stuff and using the team around us. You lead by example. And understand this, and something a lot of people don't get. And people are always saying, well, Steve, is it about I need more leads? Or you don't need more leads. And I'll touch on a slide in a moment. You need more relationships. And with that in mind, people join this business because of 3 things. Remember, BLT. But they believe you, they like you, and they trust you. So focus more on establishing that. Focus more on building that with your person, with your prospect. Rather, people join your business because they believe in you. That's so important indeed. Now, with that in mind, and I'm just conscious of the time, let's go on. So people say, let's say one of those outcomes is, yes, I love what I see, really excited by it, want to get going. Step 4, you plug them in. Plug them straight into a system. Now, what do we mean by a system? Well, from that point of view, the system is the Diamond Rush. All right, the Diamond Rush training is our system. Effectively, getting them into the system is what will duplicate. It's the system that we have. You can't duplicate because we're all different. We're all personalities are different, but the system you use, it's a cookie cutter. And if you follow the recipe, other people will be able to follow it. And we have that system in place. So important. So the thing at step 4 is get somebody immediately plugged into the Diamond Rush training. All right, make sure they download it. Make sure they read it twice. Make sure they've effectively, they don't need to go on to a live training like this. They can start the Diamond Rush training immediately they join, with the focus of helping you as the sponsor, now helping them get 2 people in their first 72 hours. And that's very important indeed. Why? Why is that so important? Okay, that's from a point of view. The reason is, as we've already said, is a system can be duplicated. You cannot. Now, what you want is if it duplicates without you, now you have true walk-away income. So important. You now effectively can leave the business, retire from the business, and you are not the issue. The business will continue to grow on. You develop residual income. Why? Because the system you are not the center of it. It's all about the system duplicating rather than you. That is number 1. The number 1 priority from a point of view is firstly making sure you follow the system. Secondly, you teach the system. Follow it and teach it. Very simple indeed. And that is the number 1 priority of when we say getting plugged in. Now, what we're aiming for is to get you focused on achieving 2 people. Okay, you're a brand new associate, 2 people left and right in your first 72 hours. Why is that important? Why? Because you earn a commission straight away. That raises your belief. You imagine, and I know it can take a week to get your global cash card, but you imagine your new associate. You've helped them get left 1, left right, okay? 1 left, 1 right. You've achieved that in the first 72 hours, first 3 days, okay? They have now earned themselves money. They've earned a bonus, okay? It goes onto their cash card. How good is their belief? Where's that gone now? So strong, so important indeed, okay? It takes that new associate because they've now got a team going. It takes them from being motivated to being a motivator, all right? That now is starting the duplication process. It gets immediate momentum, and obviously it's about basically learning the system, doing the system, and teaching it to others. So important indeed. So what we do, that is why we always say you start with your warm market. People say, oh, I need more leads. You don't need more leads. Not when we've already mentioned to you. People will join you because of they believe you, they like you, and they trust you. How is that possible with a lead that's cold? That's not possible. So what you're looking for is your warm market, all right? And then you're looking for, with that warm market, imagine if everybody on your warm market, they join your business, they've got a list of 200 people. So we all build in relationship, and we call it relationship marketing. And please understand this. Look at the two words. It's relationship marketing. The word relationship comes before marketing. Work on that. Build the relationship. Then when you've got the relationships with people, that's when you start marketing Talk Fusion to them. And that's why it doesn't work with the cold market and the lead market, that sort of thing. And we've talked about from a point of view of teamwork. Bear in mind, we're talking now as far as the actual, sorry, I just jumped ahead. As far as everybody working together to achieve more, you're not alone. That's so, so important. You do this business with other people. You're not doing it alone, okay? And until you have the confidence, the strength, the skills to do it yourself, there will be people doing it with you. That's very, very important indeed. What we're looking to do is build a model, a duplicatable model. Remember, 2 in 72 hours is what we're aiming to do. And we do that by a step-by-step system which we follow. Then we teach that to other people. And that's it. They're the two principles. Follow a system yourself, teach it to others. Follow a system following 4 steps that helps you get 2 people in 72 hours and then ultimately teach that to other people. That's what we do. That's our duplicatable model. Very, very important indeed. So let me just move my slides on. People say, well, okay, I've got my 2 in 72. What am I doing? You're taking that on a stage further. What we're suggesting you do is take it on to focus on getting 2 in 72, but then you're looking for 20 on the left and 20 on the right, personally sponsored. Very, very important. Why do we say that? Why? Because we're aiming to get you from 0 to diamond in 200 days. And we know the ratio that if you basically show the business, in other words, step 2, show it to 1 person a day, 30 people a month, we know that in those 30 people, 1 in 5 ratio, if they're qualified and have been shown a proper presentation, 1 in 5 will join this business. Now that is 3 people in month 1, 3 on the left and 3 on the right, okay, that you have now introduced. And with that in mind, taking 2020 vision on, we have there is laid out in the Diamond Rush plan, a game plan over the next 200 days to continue that. All right, just showing the presentation, step 2, to 1 person a day. And now a lot of people say, have I got to do it in only 200 days? Nope. There are many, many people in the team right now that have halved that, doing twice the amount of work, and they're aiming to be diamond within 100 days. You can choose to do it in 400 days. You decide the time frame. This is what will happen, and depending on the actions you take, depending on the work you put in, you will determine, is it 100 days, is it 200 days, or is it I'm just going to take my time and it's 400 days. But there is a game plan here for you to get to diamond. And let's remind ourselves, diamond is $10,000 a month. You know, with that's what, you know, diamond, by achieving that position, that is what the income potential is available to you, $2,500. That's quite significant. That's why we do it. So from that point of view, diamond is so, so important indeed. Now, with that in mind, we look to effectively put 20 on the left, 20 on the right. A lot of people say, why 20? Because we know that in that 20, there will be a group of people that some will, some won't. And with that, I politely call them passive associates. They just come along, they poke Talk Fusion with a stick, they kind of just do it at their own pace. Hey, that's okay. All right, we must extend respect for people to do what they want. But in the 20, we know you will have 4 or 5 team building associates, like all of you, people that have given up time on a Saturday to spend time on this training right now. With that in mind, ultimately, we know you'll have that in there. So we know we focus you on 20 people here in your left team, 20 on your right, and in there will be 4 or 5 people like you. Now that will be significant in how you build your team. And that is what will ultimately take you on to diamond and way, way, way beyond, all right? So important. Now, with that in mind, what we have also for you to track your diamond rush, so you know 20 on the left, 20 on the right. You can track as you sponsor your 20, whether you do it over 100 days, 200 days, or 400 days. You choose. But this is for you to track, okay? And it's there inside your diamond rush already for you. So, and the other thing that's so important now, never forget, Bob Rayner, when he wrote this plan, this pay plan, did a masterstroke for all of us as associates. He wrote a pay plan that pays us down unlimited levels. So with that in mind, we are encouraged to build depth. Why would you possibly want to go out and find cold people that you don't know, off your warm market? And I don't understand this. When you can sponsor someone, help them get 2 people, they sponsor somebody and help them get 2 people, and you could go to work with them. A, there's a relationship already there. B, they're walking around with their list of people and they just need your help. So why not just dig down? I call it mining for diamonds. Why not go down there? And another thing you can do, which we do every week, just when you just print off your ranking, go to your back office, print off there and find out who in your team has gone bronze, who has gone silver, and mine down to find them. So build depth. Don't start going out there trying to find the cold market. Follow this diamond rush. It is absolutely a blueprint to get you to diamond. That's what it's there for. In this business, there's 2 what we call magic moments, and I'm just a couple more minutes and we will be drawing to a close now. The 2 magic moments, quite simply, are when a prospect sees the business and sees the vision that they can get a solution to change their life and they decide to join the business. That is a magic moment. The second magic moment is a new associate when it all starts to come clear. And that is when you just help them make a bit of money, get those 2 in place and help them get 2 in place. Ultimately now you find yourself, that's a magic moment because their belief goes up. And all of a sudden they realistically can see a vehicle with Torque Fusion to get their dreams. They are magic moments, and it's so important that you help people achieve those magic moments indeed. Now, the question is really, from your point of view, is are you ready to make the cut? Are you ready to work your way for the next 200 days to that diamond level and enjoy what comes with diamonds? So important from that point of view. And we say, make sure you talk, you listen, you learn, you check out, you soak up everything that's going on. Be aware of all the presentation schedules, and it's all in the back office. Alison Roberts, the VP of Training and Development, and her marketing team have given us the tools, amazing tools, with things like the presentation schedule, all the webinars, the trainings, but it's your job to find out. It's your job as a new associate to go and find who are my upline support partners, okay? Make sure you know about when are the events going on. Make sure you know and have got tickets for the Now event, and I'm going to cover that in a short while. And basically from that point of view, the Now event is our big world convention where everybody, so many people from around the world are gravitating on Tampa for a whole extravaganza, 4 or 5 days. It's not even just 2 days. There's stuff going before, stuff going on after. You must get tickets. We've got our tickets. Here's our tickets here for the Now event. Yvette and myself, make sure you've got your tickets. It will be the most incredible couple of days, not just from the fun side, not just from meeting people, but ultimately from a point of view of actually the actual tools you will get from the business, what you will learn from Bob Rayner, the CEO of the company, from the leadership that's there. Just take my word for it. You need to be at this event. It will be one of the best business investments you've ever made. I really, really cannot endorse it enough. Just finally, don't forget, we have the red carpet tours going on every single month, all right? This is where you can actually invite people to the head office, take a look around. I think the next one, just off the top of my head, is February the 10th, okay? But look for your inbox. That will be coming to you. You can invite people if you can get to Tampa. But don't worry, if you can't get there, if you're somewhere in the world, it gets televised, and it's so exciting. So make sure you've got a prospect sat beside you wherever you are in the world, and watch out for the red carpets broadcasts that go on when they do the red carpet tour. So again, find out, make sure you know all about that. Quite frankly, last 2 slides. Make sure you're branded, all right? This is so important. This is a professional business. Make sure you're actually showing the product. Make sure you're actually wearing the product by building the brand. And by that, we mean sort of journals. Here we go, Fusion Buzz journals. You must have a supply of these. An incredible tool, all right, from that point of view. Very much a case where it's actually, you can use the tool. Great, great tool. Do check that out. Check out the gear. This is where you can get all this lovely stuff. You get great stuff like baseball caps, business cards, okay? And make sure you check out the business presentation schedule. Again, tools that have been put there by the marketing team to help us to actually get going, okay? So important indeed. Finally, just remember, if it cannot be done, if it's not in the Diamond Rush, do not do it, because it can't be duplicated. This is the system that the years and years, I'm talking hundreds of years of leadership have come together, created the Diamond Rush, and it's there for, that is our system. And if it's not in there, don't do it. Finally, and I'm conscious of time, and I'm aware we've got a very exciting presentation webinar coming up in 5 minutes with my very good friend Thomas Carter, Diamond Associate Thomas Carter. Make sure you're on that. Do not miss it in 5 minutes time. But for now, I'm just going to leave you. Make sure you basically are now having fun with the business, because if you're not having fun, what's the point of it all? Remember, if you do take no action, you get no results. Take a little bit of action, you get a little bit of results. Take massive action, you will get massive results. It's been my pleasure to share the Diamond Rush training with you now. For now, I'd like to thank you for taking the time. I apologize, it's been a long one, but I hope you've actually got value from it. Thank you for spending time with us now. I'm going to open up the chat lines just so you can say goodbye. But for me, from Steve Mitchell, good day, God bless, whatever time it is, in any time of the world it is for you. Thank you for being with us. Have an amazing Talk Fusion weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.